"I'll buy Jack a new apartment as soon as I can," I blurted out as I entered the house. I'm Bob, just Bob, an ordinary guy with an ordinary life, but with a serious problem. My wife Lynn, the arrogant and powerful mistress of my house, was a bossy bitch who showed her true face 3 months after we got married, and my life has gotten worse and worse ever since, for the next 3 years. Jack, just now, dramatically changed my life for the better. Lynn looked up and asked, "What?" "I'm going to buy Jack a new apartment and maybe even a new car. He's the best friend I can always count on," I said, plopping down next to her. "Why, what happened?" she asked. "Let me tell you. Jack has been my best friend since elementary school. It was in 8th grade when I started bugging Betty Poole with my calls. I would call and ask what color underwear she was wearing and if she would take her clothes off for me behind the gym. Of course, after a while Betty guessed it was me calling. So she told her parents everything. They contacted my parents, and one day I found myself sitting in her living room about to get my ass kicked. It was a hopeless situation, but then the phone rang and it turned out to be the guy who had been hitting on her. I was off the hook. Although, a few days later I started calling her again, that call from Jack saved me. "Well, okay, he called Betty's house and got the suspicion off your back, so what? And you were going to buy him an apartment for that?" She was a little confused. That wasn't all. When we were in college together, he saved me again. This time it was a big bodybuilder, my girlfriend's ex-boyfriend, who was convinced I had stolen her from him. It wasn't the fact that I was dating her that pissed him off, it was the fact that I started dating her before they even broke up. And actually, I was guilty as charged. But when Jack found out about it, he arranged for Jenny, the same girl, to date a different guy every day and then come back to me. Moose was sure she had broken up with me, though. This convinced him that I was one of the many she was cheating on him with. Suddenly, he wasn't as angry as he used to be. I still don't see any reason to buy him an apartment. Wait. It's not over yet. In my last year of high school, I was blown away by a very beautiful girl. I just idolized her and almost got into a fight with him when he said she was cheating on me. Jack went out of his way to get me pictures and videos of her in bed with another guy. In fact, I can't even count the number of times he has saved my ass. He's the best friend in the whole world. And today he did it again. "And what did he do today?" she asked. "I got some interesting pictures and videos again. But this time it's about him and you. He was convinced that you were a lying woman poisoning my life, and to prove it he decided to seduce you. He wanted to see how far you would go and how much you despised me. So he kept sleeping with you for 3 months. Today he gave me these pictures taken right in our bedroom. You two look great," I said and handed her a stack of pictures that were actually taken by a hidden camera I set up. Jack really was, as I said, a true friend, until Lynn started paying him extra attention. Once he got the chance to sleep with her, he was no longer my friend forever. Now I wanted to sow some animosity between them so they wouldn't unite against me. It was important to get them off balance, to remove Lynn from my life with surgical precision. As luck would have it, it was at this very moment that Jack walked into the house. I was about to be exposed as a conniving schemer, so I had to improvise. "I'm sorry, Jack, I should have told her that you gave me the pictures and the video," I told him before he could even look at Lynn, who ran out into the library. "What other pictures?" he asked with surprise, but by then Lynn was no longer in the room. "These, of course," I said and shoved the pictures up his nose. "Oh, shit." That's all he had to say before I heard a loud pop, and his body suddenly flew backwards and he fell on his back with a thud. I turned around to see where the shot came from, and I saw Lynn standing there. A shotgun was lying next to her. It was obvious that, because of the recoil, the shotgun had been ripped out of her hands, and I could see her holding onto her right shoulder, which meant that it appeared to have been dislocated. I decided there was no need to pick up the shotgun, because with her fingerprints, it was the best evidence. I turned around to see what condition Jack was in, but he was already hopeless. Despite all the recoil and the bouncing barrel, he'd been hit right where his heart had once beaten, and he was dead before he even fell. "What did you do?" I shouted to her, almost in panic. "Even though I wasn't the one who killed him, have you ever even been to a crime scene, at least as a witness? It's really scary. Besides, all his blood on my face and clothes didn't make me feel very happy. He had no reason to say that I was a whore. I never cheated on you until he started insinuating that he was interested in me. And that asshole, to prove his point, seduced me and end." She couldn't say any more because she was crying her eyes out. I went to the phone and dialed the number of the police station. I had a hunch that it wouldn't be too hard to get a divorce now.